Jake, with the big news of WWE being bought up by ESPN, we're also getting bought up.
Oh, man, everybody's getting bought up, Scott and Harvard. Where are we going?
We're going to Tout.
You mean Tout signed an exclusive deal for PWP programming starting in 2026?
That's right.
Does that mean our shows are only going to be 15 seconds long?
Yep, we're already over time.
I kind of enjoyed that, to be perfectly honest with you.
Bummerslam, today on Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey, Jake Lloyd-Bacon.
Hello to everybody out there joining us on the old PWP program. Oh, Sushi Pants popped up. Oh, man, I just noticed I didn't change the champ's name. Wait, I got to do it live. People, see, this is why you got to tune in to the Patreon exclusive live stream, because you get to see us update stuff in real time. You get a little behind the scenes. We must acknowledge our current PWP champion, Gilbert Short. Record-setting PWP champion. Boom. There we go.
Gilly Short.
Oh, Gilly Short. Gilly. We should start calling him Gilly from now on.
I'm sure he'll love any nickname that I give him. Like, the hell?
Gilly. Gilly. Gilbert Short, current champ for the month of August. We are more than halfway through the year. Of course, all of our champions at the end of the year will be entered into a big grand championship prize extravaganza.
To the death.
To the death. So if you would like to be champion for not just a month, but also potentially go down in history as the greatest champion of the year, maybe of all time, then you can only do so at patreon.com/.
You'll never be the greatest heritage champion.
No,
that's
Andrea Beeler. That's just her forever.
By the way, names, your Zoom name.
Oh, man. Listen. Okay, people are going to watch me update it. Let's see. What should it be? What should I be this week? Rename. Let's be
comedy writing in real time.
Jork Lamesner.
Jork Lamesner.
Yeah.
I loved you on NXT 2.0.
Although that's my first and middle initial. I feel like I still needed a B in there. That's all right. Hi, Scott.
Hello, Jake.
It's been 2 weeks since we've been recorded. Since we've gone back to our remote recordings, we've been doing them weekly. So it feels like this now feels like a big gap, even though that's how it used to always be. It always used to be the 2 weeks.
Yeah, but somebody was a little sneaky in their planning of how they constructed when we'd record.
Who was that? Well, yeah. Why
I have no thumbs.
Why were you sneaky?
So I didn't have to do this shit on my birthday.
That is true. It was one Scott Narver's birthday. He doesn't make us think about it on the program until after the fact, and I respect that. I did try to blow up his spot in the Discord, and I hope a lot of people gave you Discord messages. And
there's some very nice Discord messages, yes. And then there was messages later saying how both you and I fucked up Shrek, which number one, because we did our episode about our casting call of Shrek, which these seem to get a lot of responses of people with our opinions on like how we would cast a movie with wrestlers.
That's very good to hear.
And I was thrown in the mix of like, I think it was Suicide saying like, you guys fucked up the Shrek lore. And I'm like, I didn't know the Shrek lore. I am not big of a fan of Shrek. But also, even though it sounds like Jake stood up for it and it was like, no, I actually know this. You're also attacking the guy with a bad memory. But in this occasion, the guy with the bad memory is like, no, I'm right.
And I also had just watched it. And I didn't say anything That was the opposite of. There's stuff that I omitted from that because it was not pertinent to what we were doing, I think. But I think
it sounds like later movies undo stuff.
Maybe, I don't know.
Is that right?
Since we've recorded last, we have watched the second one. And is that?
And when we say we, I was not invited.
No, me and Alexandra. No, you're not. Please.
Because I'd fall asleep. I'm not a Shrek fan so far.
No.
First one's all right. Then it's like, oh yeah,
number 2 going. Number 2 is fine, but it's not as like the first one's kind of. I think I talked about this, and we're just retreading shit. Where I feel like it was
your college professor had said like it's the greatest cinematic venture.
That was actually my high school English teacher, but no, I think it's sort of like a game changer.
Was it Hangman Adam Page
with that outfit he was wearing in the photos? I wish.
Yeah.
No, we're roughly the same. I think I'm older than him, so I don't think that tracks.
He could be like a Doogie Howser.
He was like a teacher when he was 8.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, Shrek is the best thing ever. I'm going to teach you about it. Wait, what? How old is this guy?
Anyway, Shrek 2 is not as good. Long story short, we don't need to get into it. Okay. Let's turn this shit off. In case we come back. So yeah, been 2 weeks. A lot of stuff has happened since we've last been on the program.
Yeah?
There was a SummerSlam event. It was the biggest. It was the most attended SummerSlam of all time because it was 2 nights worth of people, and that's how WWE judges.
I don't know why they don't say it's the longest SummerSlam we've ever had.
We filled this arena up twice. Therefore, it's the biggest attended event. You can't do that. You can't.
It's so weird how to phrase it that way. Like a week-long festival of something is like, it's the most movies ever shown. Like, okay.
Right.
Well, sure.
No, it's the equivalent of being like, our attendance record for this one theater is 7,000 people. It's like, yeah, it only seats 100 people. It's like, yeah, but people came all weekend to see it. It's like, well, then it's not an attendance record.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Anyways, that's the least of the things that we have to be upset about. But we'll get to that later. Do you want to talk about some of the news of the weeks?
Yes, thanks for helping compile this thing.
Yeah, don't thank me because I didn't really do anything. Karrion Kross and Scarlett have been moved to the alumni section on WWE.com. And their contracts were reportedly expiring at midnight, August 10th, which is tonight, day of recording. It will have already happened. If you're listening to
They're going to turn back into pumpkins.
For someone who doesn't like Shrek, you sure do love fairy tales.
Yeah,
maybe that's why. That's why you don't like Shrek, because you don't like them picking fun at it.
Yeah, don't. This is real, okay? They're real people. Karrion Killer Kross and Scarlett almost had a last name, but now does in Bordeaux.
Scarlett Kross, they're married. Why wouldn't it be the same thing?
Yeah, that's if
the
guys get one thing, they get to kill that name.
Not all of us. The speculation that this is all a work is out there.
That he was never under contract in the first place.
No, that they're not actually married. That's why her name isn't Scarlett Kross. Yeah, no, there's I believe that the story with Sammy kind of wrapped up at SummerSlam in a way that felt definitive. And so people are like, oh yeah, it is done and their contract is up and they're not renewing. But there's a lot of people who are thinking this is like a work because they've been kind of vocal on social media about their displeasure with the way they've been treated.
It's in character.
Right, exactly.
And the people have been chanting for Karrion Kross.
Right.
And I think there was even some mix up where, because they didn't do the post-conference press stuff at SummerSlam.
Right.
The crowd was behind Triple H and they were chanting for Karrion Kross, and he thought they were chanting for Lesnar. And he's like, what? He's back. You got what you want.
Wait, really?
Yeah. There's also a fun conspiracy theory thing too, tied to all of this that Karrion Kross has talked about.
Okay.
That there's been speculation from fans that say like, he's not taking any bumps. When you watch his matches, he takes like very little to no bumps.
Okay.
So people are now watching his matches with the intent of going like,
he's the next John Cena. That's what John Cena's retiring. He's aiming for that spot.
Is John Cena not taking bumps?
He takes butt bumps. That's about it. And they're not a lot of them. And he takes them when absolutely necessary.
Well, he already showed his butt in Hollywood, so that's covered. Like, he's good
That's
now.
true. That's
Showed it
true.
a couple times.
That's fair.
So
We've all seen his butt bumps.
Yeah, they're not active butt bumps.
Yeah.
Like some people.
Hey, listen, I told you about my hemorrhoid off air in confidence.
Mine was veiled and no one knew what was being talked about.
I know. I'm okay with it. They're new to me. I've only ever had 3, and this is my 3rd ever, and it's not fun.
Are you naming it? Is this Shrek 3?
This is the 3rd.
A turd.
Honestly, after this past week, I've named it fucking Triple H.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge pain in my fucking ass. But I don't know. I think that they are, like, I could see why maybe Cross has a decent enough contract, and if you're cutting one and you're cutting both, it's a big way to save money. And if they're not doing much with them, then I wouldn't be surprised to hear that they're not renewing their contracts. But I'm also just like, they do seem to have been working decent amount, and the audience is clearly like, I don't think WWE's at the behest of like ignoring the pops. Really, I don't know. Maybe they are, but I think if it's not a work, I think we'll know maybe by the time this even airs in the pod feed that they're still around.
He's certainly. I mean, Scarlett doesn't do anything any of the times that I've seen her. She's there. She's a presence, but I don't think she's utilized in any suitable way. But he's been on TV for so much time, and yes, you can make the argument that they're also not utilizing him to a large degree up until this past month or so.
Yeah, but
I see both points as well. And the Nick Khan of it all, where it's like, man, just fucking cut him. We'll see him again in a year and a half. It's fine.
Yeah.
And also, we have a story going, and people will think he's gonna leave, and we'll just play it up in real life.
Right. Yeah. It's also, people are like, the online wrestling community loves to throw like the word fired out. And it's like, no, when your contract doesn't get renewed, you haven't been fired. If you were mid contract and they decided to opt out of that contract, then you're fired. But this is just, he's just not being renewed. And like you said,
it's usually an open door.
Right.
It's usually, hey, we this territory days, like, we did our thing with you for a while.
Right.
We'll see you down the road.
Also, for all we know, it's their decision. For all we know, they have some plans, or they, like, they want to go do something, or I don't know.
Maybe Karrion Kross is going to then make a video about him busting out of jail.
Oh, man.
And he's in this creative prison that no one is listening to him.
Woo. And he's going to, and at the end, it's going to say, let the killer loose. I hate that.
Whoa, her name's Scarlet Killer now.
I hate that that's actually a good idea for him. And that's probably what it'll be good. I wish I didn't say that. I regret
in the long run,
that.
I hope they're getting what they want out of this.
Sure.
That Scarlet and Karrion have their say, and they're being able to leverage what they want in the whole deal. I don't give a fuck what WWE wants out of this whole thing.
Maslama says, whoa, that's never been done before. Yeah, I guess it's a really good idea. Fresh stuff. I forgot we had that.
Cutting edge. Cutting cope.
Lemon Cat in the chat says, maybe he'll get to New Japan Pro Wrestling and get no reaction like the others. Is that a thing? Is that like people go to New Japan and then just nobody? Or do they just mean that like the New Japan audience doesn't react because it's like not
I think that's just silent respect, isn't it?
Right, yes.
Or they just go,
A little golf clap.
I've been there, and I stood up and waved, and all I got was silent respect.
I stood up,
and then
waved.
Security shoving me out of the way because the fans were probably going to start mobbing me
because they thought you were Godzilla.
Yeah, I had not used a lot of lotion, and my skin was very scaly.
You are an ashy motherfucker. I've always said that about you.
Always.
Do you think that they would do well anywhere else off of Lemon Cat's jokey comment here about New Japan?
Yeah, I think they would. I think he's honed enough of his persona now.
Sure.
And he's in the right time where people want to watch him do stuff.
Sure.
Where he hasn't been overexposed doing things. So if people got tired of his shtick or his matches or whatever, he could run off that for a while before they would. he's intense. He makes those kind of weird videos anyway. Like, you know, it's all dark and shit like that. And she's hot. So I think they got leverage. It's wherever they were to go.
I always think someone like him is interesting too, because I feel like people who were like, and maybe he was a world champion. I don't know, but I feel like somebody who was sort of like an exciting mid Carter in Impact. Do you know what I mean? Like people liked, but then he went to WWE and kind of like really found his stride and like created
in NXT, and then got that shit debut.
I guess the argument I'm making though is like, if he returns to Impact now, he's returning as a bigger star and a lot more refined, which is fun because it could be like, hey, it's a homecoming. This is our guy. This is an Impact guy coming home, but it's also not nearly the same thing.
And he's
kind of similar
killer again.
Sure. Kind of similar to Cody Rhodes coming back to WWE, where it's like, oh yeah, you're going to come home to where we think you are from, but you're not even the same person. You're a much bigger deal now. You've established something so much greater than what you were when you were here last time. That's always a good position for any wrestler to be in.
Totally.
And also, it's just WWE
don't understand
now.
The landscape when it comes to, if you go to TNA now, when you essentially like you've left WWE and you're going, I'm going to TNA. Well, you're kind of still in WWE in a way, because at any point TNA could go, yeah, you got to go
to
NXT and do a thing, and you have to listen to what they say.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I was making, where it's like, you know, you're still in the company, meaning like physical company, like
yeah. So whether that is still appealing to some people because they're like, oh, I'm constantly on the radar then, or you're like, no, I just want to be free of that and go somewhere else entirely.
Right.
So yeah, I think they're all right.
Another person that you and I care a whole lot about, Ashante the Adonis, has parted ways with WWE. NXT star announced his departure on Sunday via Twitter. His contract expires the exact same time as Cross and Scarlett's, and the company's not renewing that. So if you really like,
they don't stagger him by like a couple of minutes to keep people
12:02
refreshing.
So if you're a big fan of Ashante the Adonis, stay tuned for AEW, I guess. Seems like the sort of person they scoop up, make a big deal of for a week, and then forget about.
Totally scoopable.
Yeah. Jake Hagar, formerly known as Jack Swagger in the WWE landscape, says that he is done with wrestling.
I'll see you in 6 months.
What do you always say? I forget what you say all the time. There's a thing that you say.
No one ever retires in wrestling.
Right, there it is. It's funny, as we were saying that about Ashante, Maslam in the chat says, talking about Cross, if he goes to AEW, he'll be big for 2 weeks, then lost in the shuffle. Completely unrelated, because there's a delay. So that happened at the exact same time. Jake Hagar said on Soraya's podcast, I'm getting out of wrestling. I'm pretty much, I could say I'm retired from it. I started a trucking company running routes through Tampa and Florida. I'm not driving, not me. I get people driving. But
fuck, I was hoping he was an ice trucker.
Yeah,
because I want to hear him say ice trucker and Soraya.
I'm excited, something to sink my teeth into. The implication that he could never sink his teeth into wrestling.
You had a hat that Jericho made a big deal. You had that, buddy.
I mean, this is like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the sort of person I would like as a human being, but I never disliked Jack Swagger. Like he was always involved in things that I know that people in like the 2000 aughts and stuff thought he was pretty boring, but I was just, I don't know, there was something about him that I enjoyed. I feel like
I love the lisp.
The lisp was pretty great. The lisp was probably one of his best features. And great theme song too. But so long, Jake Hagar.
Who doesn't love a rock song about being on your knees?
It's because he does those knee style push-ups. That's how he got so.
Oh, I see.
That's how he got so big.
Them girl push-ups. Yeah, he, in my opinion, he wasn't awful. He wasn't great. He got put in a lot of prominent spots. He, towards the end of his career, got paid probably way more than most people would think likely it's like that he should have gotten.
Right.
So if he made a great living and did all that, like, good for him. And if he's got other stuff going on, great.
He's also one of the few who, like, collegiate fight, like a wrestler, right? Like he had actual collegiate wrestling stuff. That's where he came from, and I think he was
he cheated.
Oh, great! He was a JR guy.
No, he would just say like, "I'm super excited to be wrestling you today," and then the mat will get so slippery, and then fucking cheating.
I was talking to somebody, and they mentioned Cody Rhodes' lisp, and they said something about, because of Dusty. And I'd never, ever in the entire time that Cody Rhodes has been a wrestler, connected the fact that he has inherited a lisp from his father. I don't know why, but my brain never connected those two things.
Really?
Yeah. It was just a weird moment of like, oh yeah, that's right. It must be a genetic thing that he got from his dad. I never put two and two together. I'm a very dumb person.
Yeah.
Lemon Cat in the chat says greatest world heavyweight champion in history, and referring to Jack.
Crying emoji face.
Jack Swagger.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have 2 world titles, everybody. Jack Swagger can be a champion too. That's a great
Hey, he was also
actualization of like, yeah, when you have 2, you gotta kind of pat it out.
He was the ECW champion too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were, but you're not. I think he had the silver one.
Yes, yeah, the WWE ECW fire belt that was silver fire, I think, around the letters, maybe. I don't know.
I don't recall there being fire, but yeah, for sure. It was just a big old silver platter.
Your
second.
Other wrestlers who aren't on TV anymore, or at least in wrestling, everybody's favorite, Katana Chance, formerly known as Casey Catanzaro, once again known as Casey Catanzaro. She's like the HBO Max of wrestling people, because it's like,
that's not true. I don't watch her.
Had the name. Oh, you watch HBO Max though. That's fair. Casey Catanzaro returns to American Ninja Warrior, where she got her start. In a post on her social media, she shared a trailer for the next episode of the popular competition show, which airs Monday, August 11th. That's tomorrow, or yesterday, depending on when you're listening to this, on NBC and Peacock. The trailer shows her providing commentary.
Whoa.
And she wrote, "See you on Monday."
Commentary. So she couldn't get a spot in American Gladiators. Okay. And they took this crazy little gymnast, active Ninja Warrior person. They're like, get her a mic. Hopefully she does all right with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't recall her being great on the mic in wrestling. But I think that the bar is low for something like this, where you're just like a person who's done it before. You have the experience. It's just sort of like they can cut to her for some color commentary or interviews with somebody in the sidelines. Who knows?
Yeah, assumingly they test stuff out and they're like, oh, she has great insight, because you have to have great calves in order to do a climb like that.
Right,
and then you can sit home and go, oh, yeah, you got to have great calves so you could do a climb like that. Okay.
Right.
So good for Casey Cat and Catanzaro.
You want to talk before we get into the other stuff? You want to talk about ESPN? Let's talk about this.
Sure.
ESPN is set to join with WWE to be the exclusive streaming location of WrestleMania and PLEs beginning 2026.
Yes.
This is soon. And
yes,
what's, I think, confusing, and maybe this has been cleared up, and we're not journalists. We're doing like a quote news episode, but it's just for us to catch up and talk about shit. So don't quote us. But
yeah, and also there's a whole bunch of people that got all this shit wrong.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to get it less wrong than most.
Okay, good. So that means you maybe know more about than I do. My understanding, because people keep talking about like, oh, it's going to go to ESPN Plus, which is just part of the Disney bundle. But my understanding is that ESPN is launching a new service.
Yes.
For PLEs, for live events, a sort of like Bleacher Report style thing where it's just for the live things, essentially pay-per-view.
It's revolving around NFL, NHL,
yes,
and now WWE PLEs.
Right. And so
that's the bastard redheaded son amongst the three,
sure,
because they know.
Yeah, it's like the old state bit: the Jew, the Italian, and the redhead K. They all live together on Avenue A. Oh, I love that show. So this is not something you're already paying for. So a lot of people have been like, great, now I can get rid of Peacock because I already have ESPN Plus. I was like, yeah, you don't. This is a new thing. This isn't going to be included in that.
This is an additional thing, I think, is the key word amongst this, because if you're a completionist and you want everything, now I've seen it laid out in a couple of different ways, and I'll see if I can pull up what I had at one point as kind of a list of it all. Hello, Sorsush. Do you know about this? You want to talk about this?
Sushi
goes. Trying to eat my cheese balls.
See you later, Sushi Pants. I do love just this cat tail just in the corner of the video.
Yeah, for as noisy as she is and as nosy as she is with everything, second it comes to like somehow being on camera or making noise, not a peep.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Smart.
And won't be on the camera. I have to put her in front of it in order for it to happen. Let me see here.
It's just a private lady.
Yeah, like, the idea of like, I get to get rid of Peacock. Like, yeah, if you don't want to watch the library of stuff or have access to other shows that are there, but it's not everything is going to be in one spot at all. It's more divided now than it's ever been.
And even before this happens, that's the case, because I mean, I used to only watch Raw, SmackDown like next day on Hulu. That stopped. I have not seen SmackDown since, because it's not available on any of the services that I have. Raw is available on Netflix because that's where it's exclusive. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's also all the library of Raw has been pulled from Peacock.
Right, yeah.
Which has made watch along super fucked up. So we're turning into the best service overall for if you want the best and worst matches with different commentary, mind you. We're becoming the hub of where you can get all these fucking archive matches.
And anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes of us talking about absolute bullshit before each match starts.
That's right. So
all we have to do is watch every match in WWE history, and then our library will be the library.
Here's at this point, fairly current breakdown of what there is, right? Netflix has Raw and plans with ads. Like the basic is $7.99 a month. And then that's $95.88 a year.
Okay.
And Netflix does not have the entire Raw library.
Right.
USA Network plus Peacock for SmackDown. SmackDown and the WWE library is on Peacock.
Okay.
And the standard with ads will be $10.99 a month because it's bumping that up.
Right.
Which is $131.88 a year. Or the annual plan for $107.99 a year. Also, you could get it on cable or YouTube TV, but then you're missing the Raw and NXT weekly libraries with that.
Right.
So, like, again,
so just the
portions of these things. ESPN or YouTube TV for WWE PLEs is $29.99 a month, or it's $359.88 a year. Now, this is the part that I think is a little incorrect, because I think sports fans know this a little bit better, because I was chatting with my brother about it. So it says YouTube TV/cable users who have ESPN will get this at no additional cost, which I don't think is correct, and I'll address that in a second.
Okay.
So for that service, for the overall like estimated total at the cheapest options of all of this is $563.75 a year.
Okay.
How much is it to be a patron of Pro Wrestling Palskis a year, Jake?
5 times 12, $60.
And there's even a thing where you can sign up for the whole year and get it for cheaper.
Putting
that out there. Or the year of Netflix, Peacock, YouTube TV, sorry, let me read this again. The year of Netflix plus Peacock plus YouTube TV, which will include Raws, SmackDowns, monthly PLEs, and the WWE library, is at $1,199.75, or one ticket to one night of SummerSlam.
Right.
And WWE Network was $9.99 a month.
Right. Yeah. I do want to address something that Maslam has said in the chat here, because I half agree with this. He says, honestly, having to go to 5 different services to get all the WWE has been the model for over 20 years. Raw on USA, SmackDown on UPN, pay-per-views purchased separately. I agree with half of this statement. I think that people being upset with the potential hike increase for having to watch the pay-per-views. I'm not talking about the other shows. Let's talk about just the pay-per-views for a second. PLEs, rather.
Yeah, but it's essentially going back to a pay-per-view.
Exactly. This, to me, is just kind of a return to what we've always known. So while frustrating because we got spoiled for the past decade of having $10 a month or less to watch pay-per-views 12 times a year, it sort of feels like, yeah, that became the norm, but it always felt like it was, cheaper because I have like PTSD trauma of like not being able to get pay-per-views as a kid because they were always like $50 each. And that was an insane amount of money.
You could have ordered an SD for $40.
Okay. Was that a thing? I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah. Yeah. It went through the different, I think early on it was like $20. And then later during the Edge era, it was standard was 30.
Oh, see, I guess.
And then when HD became involved, then I think it started to be like 40 for SD and 50 for HD.
Because I just feel like when I was a kid, they were always like when I'm talking about like 80s and early 90s before HD, when it was all just SD, 14 or 4x3 televisions. I feel like they were still in the $50 range at that point. They were pretty expensive. No, they weren't that expensive.
When it was the monthly pay-per-view model,
yeah,
it was $30.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe the big ones were more expensive, the big four. Maybe
on occasion, right. I think they do something like that.
But I think the other point. So I was half agreeing with him about like, yeah, like that used to be the model is the like pay-per-views used to cost money, but to say Raw and USA and SmackDown and UPN are two different services, they're not. That's just cable. It's just like basic cable, not even
YouTube TV or I'm forgetting a couple of the other ones. Sling
TV.
Sling TV?
Yep, Sling TVs. Yeah.
Like there are plenty of options for many a time where it's like you could have gotten all of your wrestling with one streaming service and then one additional thing like having the WWE network. Right?
Yeah.
But one thing I want to point out with the YouTube TV thing that I was talking with my brother about is the misconception about this is, if you have cable or YouTube TV, you're good, you're covered. You have ESPN. And it's kind of like the days of HBO Go.
Right. Yep.
Where you're paying for it, you just have to log in with your code and you're fine.
Right. From your television.
What he has pointed out is like, no, with the access to the PLEs, you have to pay the additional $30 no matter what to have access to ESPN Plus. So even if you have it, there's an additional fee on top of it.
Right.
So you're paying it no matter what.
Yeah.
So everybody going like, I'm good. I think they're all going to get a rude awakening here in a little while of that being the case. So it sucks because they were certainly gouging fans this past year for ticket prices. And it's like, well, if you want to go, they're fucking going to get your money, but at least you have the cheap option at home to just watch everything. That's going away.
Right.
They devalued how much their stuff was worth for so long and saying,
that's kind of what I mean.
It's $10.
That's what I meant.
You know what? It's $5.
Yeah. They kind of spoiled us for such a long time that, it feels like it's sort of like, I know I argue with this about other art all the time when like people complain about fucking Spotify or this streaming service or that streaming service. And it's always like, like compare what you have now to what you had 15, 20 years ago. And you're probably paying less and getting more at the end of the day. And I feel like we're all like the amount that art costs it's been devalued so much that we're all kind of just little babies about it at this point. And I understand like if that's the way that the norm, if people for 10 years, that's been the norm, then that's what society is now. And it's harder to maybe feel like we're regressing, but they're the ones that devalue their own art. Like, I don't look at it as we were spoiled with it. They told us our shows are worth $10 a month. Yep.
Now it's worth $5 a month. But if you don't want some ads, then it's $10 a month again. And that's what our stuff is worth.
Yep.
And then they went, you know what? We just realized our stuff's worth way more. And the issue that I have with it is, okay, if you're going to go up to this model and you say like, you know what, we're wrong. Our stuff is worth way more money and we're doing this. Or, oh man, our production's going to be worth even more. Like, cool. I watch it for the wrestling, but okay, sure. I don't care about your fucking stages and your graphics. there is no trickle down effect that is happening with any of this money. There is no openness of saying, hey, we know we're TKO. We know we got Hollywood people. We know we got this and that and executives, but we're going to make sure that the people that put these shows together are getting more money from this. Residuals are happening, that there is insurance for our wrestlers, that the behind the scenes people, their jobs are secured. And we're not downsizing more and more people behind the scenes all the fucking time. No, only the people up top are keeping this money.
Yep.
It's not going anywhere else.
No.
So if it was, then I'd probably endorse it and be like, yeah, you may not like the show, but this is cool.
It's good for the business. Yeah, good for the business. Yeah, exactly.
It's not good for the business.
No, not at
like
all.
it's not. For, jumping ahead a little bit, when seeing that there was a TLC match at SummerSlam where I'm like, what the fuck is this? What TLC happened a bunch of years ago, so we're just going to do it now. So all of you take as many risks as humanly possible, and you're not going to fucking see a dime of anything. Like, you're just going to get your standard rate and nothing more.
Yep.
That's grotesque.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's get to it.
Yeah, Mass Lama says our watch alongs rock. So there you go.
That is correct. That's why he has the little crown number 1 next to his name, because of that one statement. Couple weeks ago, they had the old SummerSlam. Scott, I did not watch. Night 1 was on the television that's in front of my computers, so I was hearing some of it, but I had work, and so I was like not really.
When you're a wrestling fan long enough, like you just absorb.
Yeah.
You know enough what's going on. You can just have it on the background, and then there's certain things of like, well, I got to watch this.
Right. So that's kind of what happened, and the whole thing was just sort of a blur. I don't really remember any of it. I don't think I took any of it in, other than when Punk and Gunther wants to happen. I'm like, great, let's do it. So I watched Punk and Gunther. I heard a lot of people complaining about it, saying that it was chunky and sloppy and all these things. I thought it was fucking great. I loved it. I thought it was super fun. I think that there maybe lack of working together a lot, or some weird miscommunications. I think it just made it seem like more like a fight. Like they were like, it's that sort of like things didn't quite go super smooth, but in a way that I thought just made it seem like they were both struggling, instead of making it seem like it was a poorly choreographed dance. And I dug it, and it had a fun ending with, Gunther getting busted open because he was gloating, and Punk pulled him down, and he hits the table, cracks his skull open. It was just fun. I liked it. It was fine. And then, of course, the big, misdirection with Seth Rollins cashes in. Seth Rollins is our new world champion. Punk was champion for the same amount of time that Drew McIntyre was when, who was it? Damian cashed in on him or something like that. So there's some fun little things that they did there. Great, whatever. I was excited to actually watch night 2, thinking that like, okay, I'll sit down and I'll watch on Sunday. I didn't have anything else to do. Sat down, and I don't know, dude. I made it right up until the point where I saw Donald Trump on my wrestling show, and I heard Michael Cole exclaiming the greatness that is "Make America Healthy Again," and I think in that moment, I just broke, and my spirit is just dead, and I've turned it off, and I don't fucking care.
You and I had very similar moments at different times, because I posted something very similar to that in the Discord, where I was like, oh, I didn't watch night 1. I'll turn on night 2. And then, same sort of thing, like watching. And then, oh, well, this was my escape show. And you reminded me of the thing that's causing my life massive amounts of stress right now.
Yeah.
My family is all over the place, and we're all struggling, and I'm having to take care of my father full time because of this guy that's on my screen that I don't agree with politically at all. And I get it. This is a MAGA company, and I get it. Triple H has been involved in this for several years and is always sucking the butt of somebody to climb up higher. We saw that with Wrestling with Shadows long ago. Like it was, oh, that's who he is.
Yeah.
And I've always taken issue with the guy in a lot of places, but for a lot of it, I go like, he's a character on TV. It's fine. And then, when that was going on, I go, you're flaunting it on the show now, or you're charging all these people all this money, doing all this. And this isn't fun escapism anymore. This isn't really an initiative to go like, hey, everybody, we're encouraging you all to do sit-ups. Like, we really want everyone to get healthy. Like, no, you don't.
No. The pedophile wants the kids to be real hot. Honestly, it's just, to your point, yeah, like, maybe we all know, and I've talked about this before, where it's like there's like, you see people that are like these fucking alt-right weirdos, and you can talk all about the cognitive dissonance about them like saying, oh, we hate this, the Democrats do this, or people do this, and then they can't see that like it's their own party, and that like, as wrestling fans, I feel like we have to like have a forced cognitive dissonance. Where it's just sort of like,
because we're watching the person go like, oh, I know his name's Kevin Steen, but he's Kevin Owens now, and like we make all these weird separations anyway, and go like, oh yeah, that's not CM Punk, that's Phil Brooks, but you wouldn't call him that. You go, hey, it's CM Punk, he's playing CM Punk, and I don't want to meet Phil Brooks, I don't want that. We have all these weird disconnects anyway because we know enough about it, we know how it's all put together, right. And it's all weird carny bullshit, but it's not a fun carnival anymore. For those of us who don't agree and don't like what's going on, and it affects our lives. I think that we had arguments when Hogan died about people, separating art from artists. No, he's dead.
Oh, really? Oh, confirmed? And I'm just, I think I'm just over it. It's one thing to be like, well, yeah, I like Triple H, but I don't like Paul Levesque's politics or whatever. But it's like, it's not just that now when I'm trying to tune into this thing that I used to really find a big passion for, this thing I used to love, that now it's tainted in a way that I'm having a hard time doing that. But also all the fucking the political shows I watch, all the news I've watched since 2 weeks ago, of Trump being a dumb shit and saying fucking dumb shit that was unrelated to their whole fucking presidential fitness test thing. Triple H is on the fucking screen sitting next to him as he's talking about
and Lawrence Taylor, who they wouldn't acknowledge.
100%. Yeah. And it's literally just like, oh yeah, we've never had a president who was good at ballrooms, and there's fucking Triple H standing next to him. And it's just like, I just can't fucking do it anymore. It's even tainted. This is the problem. It's one thing to be like, oh, this guy, we don't like him. He's abusive backstage. Maybe he's an alcoholic. He yells at people. And it's like, well,
that's so many different people.
I know.
Who could it be?
That's the point. Well, no, I'm just sorry. That's like my generic wrestler of yesteryear, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, here's a person who's a little problematic. Or how about like hey, we've had plenty of people who had like domestic abuse problems in the past, and we've talked about that ad nauseum.
What?
Yeah. And it's easy to be like, okay, well, I can just sort of separate that, and like maybe we don't really care. But now it's like, it's not political or judging people on their worst days for their worst things and not allowing to forgive. This isn't the conversation anymore of like, well, this person did this thing, and we're allowed to like analyze who they are as a person and a mistake that they made. This is like literally a dude who's a fucking convicted fucking rapist and felon, who is a known bigot and xenophobe, who's, undeniably one of the most worst human beings possible. And you have people who are just placating to him and just kissing the ring and essentially saying, yeah, we're fine with all of that. And then it becomes harder because it ends up being this trickle down for me. Like, to be honest with you, like, now I see the fucking clips on my social media of the WWE Unreal of CM Punk and Triple H and him saying, like, you deserve this, you're CM Punk, and CM Punk is crying and he's saying, I know, but it means a lot to me that you fucking know this. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the Trump stink fucking smells all the way down. Because now even the people that I know I like as humans, like Punk and Sammy, and the people who I like to think like, yeah, the company, this MAGA company isn't filled with all of these like awful people. There's still great people there. At some point, you kind of have to go like, there's a complicitness, and it's just hard.
To me, that's Punk's going like, oh, thank God you finally know that someone knows, because now I can get paid and then be fucking done with this.
Maybe.
I was worried you're going to book me poorly.
Well,
you finally fucking understand some of this.
Right.
Jesus Christ. All right, good.
Right. But I don't know, dude. I know that I'm getting heated because it's a very frustrating thing, and it's something I'm passionate about, and it sucks because I'm at a point now where I don't know how I can truly enjoy this anymore.
Well, one fun sidetrack that I'll get to in a moment here, but I want to acknowledge Mass Llama saying, every time I wonder if I am being overly zealous boycotting WWE, they take the time to convince me why what I'm doing is justified.
Sure. Yeah, totally fair.
Valid.
Totally fair.
So I want to bring up something that I thought about over this past weekend where I was like, I don't want to watch SummerSlam anymore. And I turned it off. And for being a completionist as I am, it's just weird to go like, well, I'm at this point, I'm not going to watch that show. I thought about it, and I thought about you, Jake, and I thought, Jake was never a WCW fan, as you openly admit. Like, no, I was a WWE guy. Like, I didn't watch WCW. And I go, not that I just say like, let's change history and let's continue on with the players that were there and they ended up winning the war and yada, yada. It's here's a long running show that we had, a long running promotion of WCW that at one point, was NWA and then it turns into WCW. And well, that one was run by a billionaire as well. That billionaire wasn't so bad. And they had some main event talent. And yeah, some people came and went, but some of their staples like Sting, hey, he got a little out of control with the drinking and such like that,
sure.
But hey, that guy's not too bad. Hey, some of the stuff when I look at it, I go like, hey, you know what? It can still be a new show to you. It can still be a new thing, but it's like, we have WCW. And I thought, Jake, now is the time. I think you can become a WCW fan and just look at it and go, you know what? It wasn't that bad. You know what? Some of these people, they're not too bad. Ted, eccentric and weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Wasn't doing horrible shit. He wanted to colorize movies so that way new people could watch them. But then people went, no, we like him the other way. And he went, all right, well, fine, fuck it.
Yeah, I know.
So WCW is there for you, Jake.
Yeah, but is it though?
Yes.
I don't know. It's just
Sting. Sting is waiting for you. Sting's a good guy.
But yeah, can I watch Sting without seeing Hogan now anymore?
Why would you think Sting and Hogan are connected at the hip?
No, that's what I'm saying. At some point, I guess we have to get to the era of WCW. Yeah, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, but then you root for the guy that you like against the guy that you don't.
Yeah.
But back to the other point that's less fun about the Trump of it all. People, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it later too with Brock, but I certainly look for the good aspects of people or the redeemable aspects of people and look for the, hey, they asked for forgiveness or, hey, they had their mistakes and then they redeem themselves, something along those lines. It's like, yeah, because I fuck up. I do stuff that's hopefully not anywhere near as what these people do, but I want to sooner forgive someone for something, but maybe I'll then be done with them after something. Right. But Trump is someone that I've never felt has had any redeemable quality of anything. 100%. He even fucks up Home Alone 2 because I swear when Kevin says, where's the front desk? Right. Isn't that what he says?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Where Kevin asks him for directions for something. Right.
Right.
And Trump tells him it's over there. I bet you Kevin McAllister was lost for a fucking hour and a half off the directions that Trump gave him.
They don't track.
In Home Alone 2. Lost in the hotel lobby.
Right. That should have been the name of the episode.
Because he's like, that guy fucking lied to me. Like, what a piece of shit. I've never found anything redeemable about him. I've never seen an act where I go, oh, he did a nice, good thing there. Vince, Hogan, Brock, like they're certainly amongst the terrible people in wrestling where I can go, hey, they did good deeds here and there, or there's a lot of them. And then they did a couple of bad ones. And yeah, when it came to seeing Trump being thrown on the television and to go, Vince wouldn't have done this. Vince kept this shit separate.
And like
he knew better.
Celebrated with fucking Michael Cole. That to me was like the icing on it. It was bad enough to see it, but Michael Cole. I've never
enjoyed Michael Cole, and I know people defend him now.
I've always defended him. I think he's fine, but man.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Now he is the puppet that he always was, unless he's, fully believing of it and well. But yeah. It was he's, like I said, he's been ruining my life. He's been ruining my past relationship, the previous regime. This, I didn't think it'd get any worse. And currently we're in a state of really bad, and it's probably only going to get worse with my situation. And I just, it's really hard. Like, I like watching the older stuff. Anything new is, from this point on, it's going to be really, really hard to swallow or take in.
It's also,
it's just,
and it's, again, it becomes about like a complacency. It becomes about, and again, this is something that in the political world that we live in, like we've talked about for years, ever since 2014 or 13, when the fucking dumb cunt came down that stupid fucking escalator. Like, we can't normalize this shit. And it's
Triple H when Undertaker tombstone him?
Yeah.
I think that was in like 97.
My memory's bad. I'm bad with years. But like it seems like, and I know that a lot of our listeners are fucking centrists, and a lot of them are just like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter, this and that, and you can find bad people everywhere, but this isn't that. Like, it's something fucking different, and we've normalized it for a fucking decade at this point. And at some point, like, feel complicit in that normalization, and it feels like supporting WWE in any capacity at this point is a level, like, the fact that, like, we stuck around after the fucking Saudi stuff, like, that's bad enough, and now this
sometimes it's a car wreck for me where I'm like, well, I
get that, and I totally understand that. And the unfortunate reality is that it's no longer like, and there's people out there who are like, yeah, but I'll just pirate everything, that way they're not getting any money. And it's just sort of like, okay, but are you really getting the one off on them, or are you still just admitting this is the only option you have for your entertainment and you need to watch this?
Right.
Like, there's plenty of things that I am far more passionate about right now in my life, that, like, it's just kind of tough.
Yeah, it's now finally getting to a crossroads with me where for a long time I was like, I'm watching for the
everybody
show.
knows,
I'm watching for the car wreck.
Everybody knows it's going to take at least 3 crossroads to finish you off.
Yeah, I know. So luckily I'm okay for a while. But yeah, it sucks. And for those who are centrists who listen to this and go like, oh, it doesn't affect my life or whatever, it's like, well, I guess I'm kind of thrilled for you.
And also it does,
it doesn't,
and it will.
You were right, but it's not actively, or they're not aware of it. It's like that. I'm certainly always a fan of ignorance is bliss. Sorry, Alexa, but it's when there's just not something that's directly affecting your life. Like, that's, I guess, in a way, I'm envious of that because it's only affecting my life. And it's just, I don't know if we'd ever name the era that we're in right now, but it just also kind of dawned on me where I'm like, man, Vince, with as much as it's like, yeah, the majority of his booking is shitty and he's out of touch and this and that, and it sounds difficult. The ring mat, the sponsorships everywhere, fucking we'll take money from every single place we can. We're going to charge you more money, and we're going to make more money. And then we're going to brag about how we're making so much fucking money. But our talent and our crew and all these people aren't getting it. It's just, it's a sponsorship era. And I thought the Thunderdome era was bad just because it was fucking lifeless.
Right.
But then we got into the Vince Swan Song era. And then now this is just a rotten, awful era where there's plenty of people that seem to like it. I don't know who they are. I don't know how they have all this money to go and to these shows and dig it and all that. But beyond seeing John Cena retire, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that can make me just keep going like, it's okay.
I believe WWE calls this, ironically enough, the modern era. Like, I think that's just what they named them all.
Which I feel like they did that too in the, what is it, the reality era or one of those?
Yeah, they bailed on that.
Yeah, stop calling it.
They bailed on that, but
the fucking modern era.
I mean, let's see. I would call it maybe because you're right. There's a lot of ads. So it's
a sponsorship
the modern ads galore abundance era. What would that be? Modern MAGA. Let's just call it the MAGA era to make it easy.
Yeah, I just hate that word.
Yeah, they're the fucking worst. And then they brought back sexual predator and person known and
Enzo Amore.
So, fuck, I forgot I was gonna make an Enzo Amore joke earlier, about how when, never mind. Fucking Brock is back, and it's one of those things where it's like the online communities are like, oh, this is gonna piss so many people off. Like, did you hear the pop? People don't fucking care, and that's another reason why it's hard to watch too.
Yeah, but that's in the moment. That's everybody gets the pop initially.
Yeah, maybe.
Like no one thinks about whatever it is until you keep coming back, and when you keep being on screen, so fans will start to make up their mind and be vocal in that. I am certainly one with this, and I know this isn't going to make a lot of people happy, including yourself, Jake. Like, I've always liked Brock. I know exactly what he is. I know what he was the day he showed up. The guy's a bully. And it's much like why I liked UFC or mixed martial arts in the beginning, because as much as I don't like to go to a bar or something like that, once I knew there was an outlet for people like, I just got to fucking fight. You know, I just got to, like, I just fucking, like, no matter what, like every night I got to get in a fight. Like, cool. Do you have an outlet for that somewhere?
You could.
Oh, you do? It's there? Oh, you can go fight in a pit for money and your honor and this and that? Great. Fucking great.
You would have been Stan Hansen and No Holds Barred.
No, I'd be one of the guys who he's laughing at.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm not Stan Hansen.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot he was one of the fighters too.
I'm happy that there's the outlet, and and if I want to pay to watch them fight, great. I can go do that, and they're not in my life and won't beat me up anymore. And when it comes to Brock and being in that world, great. You all need to fucking reassess what your dream is, where you work, and guess what? Guess who works there? Brock. Yeah. And you might have to step in the ring with him. And he's the car wreck. He's the guy I like to watch for that reason. And if some of these people need a fucking reality check and Brock is the guy there, women aside, like that's a totally different, separate issue. But this is where you work. Like they're taking you to Saudi. They're fucking doing MAGA shit. Brock is there. Like, is WrestleMania really that big of a deal to be a part of for this?
Right.
So,
and that's what I meant earlier about
like, great, bring him back.
But that's what I meant earlier about like the trickle down effect, where it's just like at some point, I feel like everybody is complacent. Like showing up to work is essentially going like, yeah, what else am I going to do? It's the biggest wrestling company in the world, you know? And like, you know, here's a company who has fired many people over just allegations. You know, the second something controversial comes up, but it's like, yeah, but you know, when they're Brock Lesnar, it's okay. Because at this point, we've essentially signed the okay we have Triple H fucking shaking Trump's hands, and the dude, you know, the fucking literally went to court. And so it's not, I don't know.
Well, the reporting with this goes to just talk about this side of it, not excusing it or saying any of it's, you know, valid or whatever it is. As far as he's been gone for 2 years. And then on top of that, as reported, like WWE Legal cleared it and had gone through whatever they do for a period of time and then said like, yeah, it's okay. So whatever they thought on their legal side of it, they've met, they've done whatever. They supposedly did their due diligence of whatever they felt like were okay. Is it a bad PR move? Totally. Right. But I guess they feel they're fine legally to do this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be fine legally. Like, you know, they could hire anybody they fucking wanted, you know? But yeah.
Get his daughter in there. Get the shot put master fucking going in there. Let's get her going. She hasn't done anything bad yet. Bring back Mixed Max Challenge and have those two team up.
I don't know, dude. It's tough. We have a wrestling podcast, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it, considering that I don't really want to talk about. And so this is something that I was thinking about that I wanted to talk to you about, and I don't know whether this is even possible because I know your
WCW.
Your whole thing is like, well, we're a wrestling show, and if it's taking place in the wrestling world, we don't talk about it. It's like my whole thing is like I'm fucking sick of talking about it. And here's a wrestling company who, throughout years, has just erased people from everything. And not even because they did something bad. There's that too. But sometimes they just erase somebody because they went to a different company and then all of a sudden they no longer exist. Think about Matt Hardy getting pulled out of the WrestleMania footage when Jeff came back. You know, like they just decide that these people weren't there. What if I just start erasing people from WWE? They just don't exist.
Sure.
So like, that might be just how I have to.
Doesn't your brain already do that though, Jake?
Yeah, for different reasons though.
Yeah. There's certainly a lot of wrestling out there. This is not the only thing to watch.
Of course.
We got a lot. We got a lot of options. We got a lot of things. I don't know how it affects all of our listeners because I know that's the hub. That's the majority of where our listenership comes from is us talking WWE things. And there's always people like, talk about New Japan, talk about this, talk about that.
Yeah, of course.
But we're always catering to the larger audience.
Well,
but
it's also, I push back on that. I'm not catering. I personally am not catering to the larger audience. I just kind of only cared about WWE. AEW lost me in the first year or so. Impact, I never see a clip that makes me want to watch the show. Usually the clip I see is everything I would want to watch from the show. So I go, okay, great. I watched it all. NWA is its own fucking problems. New Japan, the style just doesn't appeal to me. So for me, it's not necessarily about like, I think the point I've made earlier was that like, I think that my passion in wrestling lies in the WWE lineage and the WWE product. And like, that's what kept me a fan. That's what made me a fan as a kid. It's what kept me as a fan in the teens. It's what brought me back in my 20s. And it's not, to me, I think that like I will fully accept the shit that maybe a lot of the reviewers over the years have put on me about like being a WWE show. Like, yeah, that's the thing that's the wrestling that I like. And it's not that I've never seen wrestling from a different company I was into. It's just when it comes to like investing my time as a 42-year-old fucking man with career and creative interests and other hobbies, like I don't feel like if I'm just not watching wrestling that all of a sudden I have this big gap in my life. And, right. Sort of, I like doing our watch along series with you and watching old shit. Not that that's always just like free of people, because it's usually a lot of these fuckers. I'm sure we've got fucking Taker and Kane are probably two of our most fucking watched people. And I'm just sort of
Kane is not.
Okay.
Taker's, and that's mostly because of you.
What? How's that possible? I only do like 4 matches a year.
Yeah.
And they're all Taker matches.
Taker
they're all Takers. That's because they're the only ones I remember.
You're like Taker and Sheldon, Taker and Zack Ryder.
Oh shit! Next month is September, isn't it?
You keep finding like, hey, Taker fought this guy. Like, okay.
And not this year. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm not trying to make some sort of definitive statement here. We're just talking.
Same thing. It's not like from now on this podcast will never acknowledge this thing. It's certainly I think bleak when it comes to, hey, this like even the idea of like, hey, let's review SummerSlam. Like, well, that shit clearly didn't happen. Right. And anything else throughout the rest of the year, maybe John Cena's retirement night.
Right.
Like that's probably the only thing that would be on the books.
Will that begin? That'll be that'll be I was like, not if it's on ESPN and I can't forget it, but no, that'll be before that. Right. Yeah. It'd
either be like the match or if it's the final night, like it's probably talking something to that extent. And, other than that, it's not likely to happen.
Right.
But, talking about things that pass or things around it. Sure. News items, obviously, with probably much harsher criticisms.
It's also just like
headed towards it.
And this is my inner struggle. And again, I'm not making statements. I'm just thinking out loud because I like to attempt to be transparent. And I've been not entirely myself over the years on this podcast because I like to,
you keep changing your fucking name.
Play a role. But like, at some point, even covering it is just adding to a conversation that I don't want to be a part of. And there's
isn't that ignoring it though?
No,
just ignoring
because it's like I have no interest in being associated with this thing in the public.
What about,
discourse.
For example, like the Daily Show?
Yeah, that's like, different.
If they just went, well, we're not going to talk about any of that.
Well, if we were the Daily Show, it would be obviously a different situation. If you want to make the show into a political wrestling program, that's something completely different.
Don't you think this is a show in which I certainly try and encourage we joke about this kind of stuff all the time?
You do. Yes, you do.
So I think there's something to that. Like if we are punching up.
Sure.
and can mock those things and say like, hey, when they do something good, like good on you. And then when they do something shitty, like we've talked about today, it's like, hey, you did a lot of shitty moves.
Yeah.
-2 stars or dud.
Yeah.
Meltzer gave you 8 stars. Way to go. But
Alex Pierce in chat, I just noticed that. Sorry, I'm late. Can you start over? I don't know how long ago that was, but
someone's married or had a baby, right?
Right. All right. Well, we should get going here. That will do.
We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts.
Sure, go for
Call
it.
the hotline 747-666-5606. This is one of the things where it's like, was there something that affected you? Is it like, business as usual? I expect this from this company, and this is my outlet. This is my entertainment. Or you're like, oh, guys, fucking watch MLW. That shit's great.
Do you think
it's on YouTube?
Do you think the limited booing is going to do anything? That was another thing too, was there's a lot of these clips online of like, oh, when they showed Trump on the Jumbotron, the whole stadium booed. And it's like, yeah, a stadium filled with people who paid thousands of dollars to be there to pay this company was all booed when on TV. They don't give a shit. They already got your money.
Yeah. It's when they stop going back, right? Like that's when it starts to be, right. If you're there and you went, boo, what the fuck? And maybe you didn't know. I understand that goes on, that people are just less connected to all that kind of shit. But if they see that and then they go, I'm not going back. I didn't like that, or I didn't like the show, or whatever. It's ultimately always voting with your dollar.
Right. Yep.
And that's what we can do, and that's what
well,
that's the power you have.
Speaking of voting with dollars, we'd like to thank everybody who votes for us with their dollars over on the Patreon. Scott Narver, would you like me to do the Patreon Palskis this week? Or do you want to maintain your position?
If you want.
Thanks to our current Patreon Palskis. Happy to see a couple new names pop up here for the month. Adrian Avina, AJ0314, Alex Pierce, Alice Rader, Andrea Beeler, Gilbert Short, aka current PWP champ, record-setting PWP champ, Leonardo, could be the Ninja Turtle, don't know. There's no last name, and he didn't have one. Mass Llama, Mexican Stallion.
What are you talking about?
Mickey
He's Leonardo.
Bell, Mike Lucas, Leon Ardo? I didn't put a space in it.
Didn't you watch Mutant Mayhem? Come on now.
No, not yet. God, I keep bringing it up, and I never get to watch it. I gotta watch.
Oh my God, you watch so much WWE, you piece of shit.
Where was I? Mike Lucas, Oak Tree, Strong Style, Suicide, Tim Redbeard, Tom Hader, and Tony Griggs. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you to Oak Tree and Leonardo for joining our new patrons.
And I just want to bring up that when you are reading through the list, I don't interject and try to get a little joke in there because I know how hard it is to, like, when you're reading it. I just want to say I never do that to you, but you just did that to me. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of rude. Mass Llama, he said my name. That's true. I did. And I also need to say the name of Gilbert Short once again, current PWP champ. If you would like to challenge him, the only way you can do that is by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/PWPalskis. Scott Narver, anything else you want to say before we wrap out of this bitch?
Could you say that one more time?
Is there anything you want to say before you wrap out of this
Sorry for interrupting you, Jake.
God damn it, he did it again. My favorite part about that is that since we've been doing these remote, when I have to pull your file in and edit them together, I realize how bad the delay is on both of our sides. So I'm going to have to make it so that you talk over me for that joke to make sense.
Are you saying you're fucking with my comedic timing?
No, I'm saying the internet is fucking with our comedic timing, and I have to fix it so that you still have your original comedic timing for the listeners.
Either way, all the trials and tribulation that we're going through as fans, we still have Tamina.
We'll always have Tamina. Should that be the shirt? We'll always have Tamina.
She never did anything wrong. She's an angel.
Tamina Angel. All right. Well, you guys know all the stuff. PWPalskis.com is your one-stop shop. Snag yourself some merchandise. Great way to help the show. I got a lovely little hat on. You can get yourself a hoodie. You can get yourself maybe a mug to drink out of. A nice phone case.
Yeah, you can drink out of your phone case.
You can drink right out of your phone case. Fill that bitch up with some sangria. And what else? Find us on the socials at PW Palskis, at Jake Lloyd Bacon, at Scott Narver. Yeah. Anything else? We did it.
Yeah, just thank you for supporting our Patreon, which we're trying to always add fun stuff there and do the watch-alongs, because that's one of the difficult parts in all this, right? It's like one of the joys that I certainly know I have when I get to do it in person with Jake, when I've watched with my brother, with friends, like one of the ultimate joys in all of this hobby is watching wrestling with friends, right? Like going to shows, watching it at home, doing all that, having that experience. And as much as we hope to maintain that, we can do that with our watch along series. And we hope that it gives you some semblance of, hey, I didn't get to hang out with my friend this week and watch some wrestling, but I got to hang out with Jake and Scott and do that.
Yeah.
So that's something that's a spirit of the show we always want to try and just keep alive in some form or fashion, even when we're going like, oh my God, can you believe it? We're watching this match and they're in fucking Saudi. And it is the greatest Royal Rumble, to be fair. But oh my God. Oh, look, he fell down.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thanks to everybody who joined in. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's always a blast hanging out with you for Wrestling Palskis.
It's Dragon Wagon.